Crazy your life. We are live. Yeah, thank you, Olga. So first of all, hello everyone. Yeah, we just started 1 minute earlier, but that's fine. Yeah, thank you for this great introduction. But yeah, as you said, for the first time, we need what we have in our first session. We were talking about how security is going to work, or how basically establish like a basis of security or fundamental for your company. As you mentioned, it was 3 sections, so I'm gonna like quickly recap, as you said, to what I said and how what we are talking about in the previous talks. So firstly, it was a human. As I mentioned, it was like a weakest chain what we have in this whole system, so you can easily trick them. And the solution was doing this awareness and security training for them. That's very tricky, so you need to keep on them, to keep eye on them, and keep train them. As a second thing that I mentioned, it was technology. I mean, we are working in like 2021 and everything is related to technology. At least you have some websites, so that's very important that you have some stuff working and running to make your company secure. I mentioned like at least have a SSL certificates or something like this, HTTPS or CC above the websites, and beside that some technological setup. Like I mentioned, it's nice to have encryption on the and beside encryption, you have a data retention policy to make sure that everything is ordered and it's not accessible to everyone. Also, if you remember, it was about the VPN. So how much VPN is important to like have a secure connection, especially with these days that everyone working remotely. So it's very crucial to have this. And lastly, to keep your backup secure, and what's the backup technology and stuff you need to do. So basically, these things was more or less talking about technology and how technology is going to work. But the last part, which is like continuous actually part, is a policy. So policy, we talked about procedure and like documentation and how you're gonna work inside your company. The easiest policy I gave the example was this password policy, if you remember. So password need to be retained securely first, not written on a desk, not in a sticky note below the monitor. And secondly, you should have a password change policy, so such as you change it every 6 months or every year. It depends on the company. And the other thing that I was talking about, it was especially in technology, I said, is this backup stuff. So you need to at least have some daily backup. It just doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are. This backup is very crucial. You mean at least you have some Google Drive file shared somewhere. So you should have this data backup somewhere, not in over internet, or if over internet, you should make sure that it's securely. But I rather to be somewhere running on a hard disk, and I mean two separate systems. That's what I mean. So it can be anywhere, but make sure the other security countermeasures. And auditing. So auditing was the last thing I was mentioning. So auditing means that you have the proper documentation of what and how or when should be done, such as who like quarterly software review auditing, such as like what I mean is just every 3 months you come and see what software is installed and what are unnecessary and what is needed. Or internal security auditing, so it means that you go through your internal system. But there are many and many of them, so it's a very broad way to talk about it. So yeah, that's pretty, I mean, that's a quick recap of what we talked last time. All right, so it's actually a very good question. So I would first want to mention that it's really depend on the company size and how much you want to spend, and actually how much care you about your security, or if you are exposed to any vulnerability. So just to start with the financial part, if you really care about your data, of course you have some, at least one tech guy or security department working and running in your company, so to take a look of internal policy that you're having. But based on my experience, most of the companies doesn't have these facilities, and they just like going and let's do what see and what happened. So it's very important to have both set up at the same time, internally and externally. But let's again back to the internal procedure. Basically, it's much cheaper. It can be more effective, and it's under your control. That's what I mean. So. But at the same time, maybe your company doesn't have that much resources or even knowledge or basically time or anything, any factor that you want to include that can do this internal auditing and penetration testing. But what's important from the outside is just maybe you can find a very reasonable and effective auditing rather than hire one security team 24 hours inside your company. Echo. You're muted. Okay. Uh, eh, okay.
Um, well, we already checked this stuff before, but I don't know. All right. From my settings, I mean, I can hear you, and you should be, everyone should hear you as well. But how about now? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Uh, so they can hear us or no? Yes. Mm-hmm. Audio input. I mean, mm-hmm. So they can't hear you. Mm-hmm. All right. So the way we are doing that, I will repeat your question. So, uh, all right. For those who haven't heard Olga question, so she's asking about the difference between the internal auditing and penetration testing, and how we can differentiate between them. So as I mentioned, penetration testing is a very broad terminology for checking what's going on, mostly in terms of security inside your system. This penetration testing can be also be done internally or even externally, but most of the time, it's in a general belief, it's external stuff. But auditing is something like, okay, one penetration testing can be one of the auditing that you do like regularly, but it's not the way is like that. So basically, auditing is more or less talking about your procedure, your policies, and how like I gave like a last time example who has access to what in a database, if you remember. So that's basically about the policies. But penetration testing is a one-time action that you like checking and stuff. But that's a good question. Let me just open this topic about how penetration testing is going to work, if you agree. Uh, so basically, penetration testing is talking about how the attacker you put yourself as an attacker and have their mindset on how they're just going to crack your system. For penetration testing, we have like two big categories, like black boxing and white boxing. So white boxing, you have some internal information, like you know that how is the system is going work, or what application is installed, or some stuff that you know. But about the black boxing is just you have a zero knowledge, so you are like outside attacker, and you start digging out the system and find vulnerability. Yeah, you want to say something? No? Uh, I'm well. It's quite impossible right now, but the things that I'm sharing microphone and speaker from my laptop, so that's the thing. So, but the screen actually is shared. It's not a Skype application. But yeah, it's not possible right now to. Ah, oh, I have one idea.
You have an idea? You want to try?
And I guess now people should hear you because it's not a streaming over microphone, it's a streaming over my laptop speakers.
Okay, let's try.
So that should definitely people hear you.
Just a second, let's wait for feedback. Yes, they can hear me, but well, not very well. But yeah, I will try to be
it's
loud.
because
Yes.
of the echo that we have here, but that's fine.
Yes, sorry. Sorry for our technical issues, but yes, I'm very glad that you can hear me. We hope that next time we will be able to sit together in one room. So yes, that would be easier. So my question was about attackers and stereotypes of attackers. So what do you think are those attackers, like guys who are wearing black glasses, hoodies. They're sitting somewhere in the background. They have, this shiny keyboards and somewhere in dark place and with a lot of lights, lots of screens. So are they like this?
Well, this Hollywood stereotype of attackers are, well, I mean, they exist. Maybe in next door there is an attacker like that, but with this hoodie and turn off the light, dark screen, and some fancy background, and they think that they are really great. But we call them script kiddies, so they just download some software and try some random stuff. But I would say the real hackers are like an employee. They have a job. They go 9 to 5 to the work. They like sitting on the desk. Everything is in order. So and we call them like a state hackers. So those guys are work for states and this is their job. So and those were like proper hackers. Of course, there are some groups like Anonymous in this planet that working for this rebel and all of these things. I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about general concept of the hacker. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's actually very interesting how what we see in the movie is actually different from our reality. Yeah. Would you like to add a little bit more about penetration testing and how it can be useful for people? Like, for instance, what information can they get? What is the process like from the start? Like, let's say you're the company that provide penetration testing, but there is a company, the other company or other person, usually it's company, who wants to get penetration testing. So when they realize that they need penetration testing, and what would be their steps to do that? And yes, so please tell us a bit more about procedure and what would be the results, what will be the use.
All right. The penetration testing is not only talking about technological stuff. It's like a process of every step, every criteria that I mentioned in the beginning. So basically, the penetration testing starts with the information gathering. This can be easily done from what you're sharing over internet, your social medias, and even they can come and talk with your employee. Just they make a friend, and that's normally like a 90% of hacks happen. This is not always about technology. Yeah, technology might be sometimes weak, but the weakest part is this human. So this information gathering is the first and earliest step. And then we have this enumeration and like we checking and to see if we can find open door. Like we find that like every Friday you go for a lunch with your colleagues at 11 p.m. and we 11 a.m. 11 in the morning, and we find that your office is empty. That's the information that we can get, and we can come. I mean, do the rest of the stuff. So it's not always blame the technology. And yes, that's more or less a step. And then you do the attacks. I mean, you do your whatever you wanted to do, and either you find something or you don't find something. If you find something, those are the vulnerability that your system is exploited. It can be exploited by them. But to have this, how the like normally the procedure is that when the company that it doesn't matter. I mean, you ask a very good question. When is the right time for do the penetration testing? I mean, as long as you have some secret data in your company, you need to do penetration testing. So that's like clearly obvious. It can be whatever, your trade secret, your customer data, or whatever. That's very important. But so that's the moment you need to start do the penetration testing. And there are lots of company in this European Union or wherever you are that offering this penetration testing. But you need to also see that how much risk you're gonna accept with losing data. So sometimes you say that if I lose this part, it doesn't matter. If my website go down for 1 hour, it doesn't matter. So you need to check the prices and services. Like if they offer the website penetration testing, maybe it's not that much important for you. So it's just like a trade-off. You need to check and see which one you are willing to like subscribe or getting. And of course you can have like your own security team inside your own company.
Very good point, Ali. Thank you very much. And also one technical feedback. Could you make me speak a little bit not so loud? It's too out. Too many.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I hope it was. I hope it was okay, and I'm not shouting in our audience ears anymore. Yes, so thank you very much for your insights about penetration testing. And I would say that you said very valuable point that how valuable are your assets. It's very important to compare money that you will spend for penetration testing because, well, let's say it's a service that costs money and it will take some time, and also compared to cost of your assets and damage of your reputation in case if those assets would be if some other people can get access to your database, for instance, or some other information. Okay, that's very good. And we have one very interesting question that I would like to ask you. Question from our audience that we received before this webinar, and the question is just a second. I wrote it somewhere. How to choose when you need additional cybersecurity, or you can do it by yourself. So. Can you answer the question? I also have some thoughts about this, so yeah, please.
Yes, well, it's about, I would say, time and effort and knowledge. So basically, this you want to do something that might be you know or you don't know. It's this cybersecurity. So it's about how much time and effort you want to spend to learn by yourself or to train someone, or you just go and get that service. I mean, why we don't write the Gmail by ourselves? It might be like we can do something better even, but the service is there and it's sometimes free. So why not to use those services? It's just like a trade-off you do with your time, energy, and effort. Yeah, that's my answer.
Absolutely agree with you. I was thinking about exactly the same. Like if you go to someone for consultation and if you go to someone for penetration testing, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it by yourself. Technically you can, but let's say that you will put a lot of your energy, put a lot of your efforts to study this, like to learn about how to do all of this. And on that time you can do some other jobs that will make more money for you. So if you see that for you would be easier to delegate this, that would be a solution. So I would say that would be a balance. Like if you know the stuff, you do the stuff, or if it will take you long time to learn about this, it would be much easier to ask someone who already has this knowledge. And what we also wanted to make a point that if you order consultation or penetration testing, it includes not only this time that is spent specifically for this service, but also years of learning, years of experience, and this is very, very valuable. So something that you may keep in mind. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, Ali, would you like to make a small recap of our today's talk? What is like the most important stuff? How can you check if everything is done correctly? And yes, the main take out from our talk.
Yes, so I just have I would say as a very simple advice, either you do your homework or hire someone to do your homework. This security, you cannot skip it. It's all there, stick to you. You cannot run away from it. So either you have a very proper or a strong internal auditing system, like checking everything and make sure that everything is going all right, so you don't need even penetration testing. But that's a very, very rare case, and I would say even maybe Cisco or this big company doesn't have this procedure all the time. So it's sometimes worth to ask someone else to come and check what are you doing. So it's this that we call it the penetration testing. What are the open doors and the vulnerability that you are exposed to internet and all of those script kiddies and either those state hackers.
Okay, thank you very much, Ali. From my side, I would like to add that, of course, cybersecurity is super important. And you need to keep balance. You can, if you're thinking about security, you can think about how you lock your door. For instance, you can have one locker or two of them, and like what happens if you lost a key, or you cannot, it's very open to to open your door, or if you don't have any keys and you just leave your door open. I mean, maybe no one will care. Maybe no one will ever check your door, and it's okay if it will be open for like years. But right now, attackers and cyber attackers, they become much more active. And what Ali mentioned, that it's also like a job that you work 9 to 5 as an attacker, and you're trying to get someone else's databases. Basically, you're going and check doors, like all of them. And if your door is not properly locked, it can be easily opened. And the same is in cyber world. It's no different from your regular doors. So yes, stay cyber secure, stay secure in real world. I think it's all from my side. Is it also from your side, Ali, or would you like to add something else?
No, I guess that's enough for explaining. But I'm just sorry about this technical stuff. I just didn't expect it.
Yes, we are sorry that it happened. Let's check if maybe we have some more questions. Yes, if you have some questions, feel free to contact us. And well, right now I don't see any. Yes, I don't see any questions, but even if you have questions after our talk, feel free to ask. Feel free to contact us in any cybersecurity, privacy questions. We will be happy. We will be happy to answer them. Yes, again, sorry for technical issues, and feel free to watch our first webinar. That one was without technical issues, and we hope that in the future it will be better. And also, we would like to invite you to participate in our next webinar in the way that you can propose your topics. We have some other topics in mind, but if you have something that you would like us to talk about, feel free to share your thoughts, feel free to comment, and yes, we will keep that in mind, and we will discuss those topics. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so thank you for your attention, and follow us on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and now we are also in YouTube, and this video will be available in our YouTube channel. So yes, thank you very much, and follow us for our new webinars in TechTalk. We will announce them on our social media. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.